Well, greetings and welcome once again to Switch On Network. We got a special show for you today. We're coming to you live from the Farmhouse Restaurant. It's out at Ridgevlei Zoo Farm, just down the road from Mall of the South. Do check it out. Some great food and great entertainment. And obviously, we watched some great football live here at the Farmhouse out at the Ridgevlei Zoo Farm. I'm joined once again by my esteemed colleagues, the former PSL Footballer of the Season, 2009, Morgan Gould. Meaning, Morgan, you were the best player in the league that season. Not anyone can say that. That's big.
Good evening. I think it was just a blessed time for me, I had to fight my way through because obviously there's a lot of players that are better than me, but I just did it consistently and the votes came my way.
So
I had vote cards going out to everybody that was voting, and I was like handing out 5 rand airtime. I had to, because I was up against big names like the likes of Teko, Kekana, Shompo Kekana. So obviously, that.
I love the word you say. So consistency is key.
Yeah, most definitely. I think in when you're a player at that level, I think it's no longer just about playing. It's about being consistent and just being true to the game.
Thank you, son. And the man who was covering it all, Nadim, I'm sure you know all his stats from that season.
I do, and you expected him to play part of the World Cup squad, where he was supposed to replace either Bongan Kumalo or Aaron Mkwen.
Okay.
Unfortunately, injury rolled him out of the 2010 World Cup. There's no doubt he should have been there. I mean, even the coach, Carlos Apeto Pereira, he was part and parcel of the team. But yeah, you have to be, injuries are one of those things.
It's unfortunate part of the game, but
unfortunately,
we are now in full swing, guys. We've been waiting. We've been talking transfers. We've been talking off-season things. The season has started. It's official. The season is underway, Morgan.
Yeah, hey, what a rather great weekend we had of football. I think everybody was anticipating something special, and it was definitely something special. Talking from Pirates to Siwelele to what we just witnessed earlier on Chiefs, I think a great start to the campaign.
Nadim, are you impressed? I mean, we look at MTN8 last week into the league season. Are we in for a treat this season?
I'm not sure if we're in for a treat.
We're talking about entertainment. We're talking not specifically who's doing what. We're talking about
looking at Chippa United, I like what I saw. When
they
fought very hard. I mean, Sundowns, of course, they dominated, created more chances.
Yeah.
The fact that they came up with a point, it's positive. Siwelele, that's like one of the teams that also surprised us. Most people were saying, we don't know who's there. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Even Mangoba, before the match, he said he doesn't know what to expect. But eventually...
Is it safe to say that this is still SuperSport? I mean, in terms of the playing personnel, not much has changed.
No, nothing much. Not much has changed. So that the relocation and the branding and all this kind, but it's still SuperSport because even guys like Stanley Matthews are still behind it. Andrew Arensek, Grant Johnson, the people were there. Only the former Sekhukhune coach just has joined.
When you look at that performance, same players, but it's a team that nearly got relegated, Morgan.
Yeah, that was a wake-up call. I think they got a wake-up call. I don't know if it's lady luck that they're winning the first game. But it's still the old SuperSport. You can dominate them in possession, but they put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what matters in football.
Okay, let's just rewind a little bit now. I want us to go and dissect, because that's what we're here for. I mean, ultimately, we want to do a review of this past weekend's action. You spoke about the Chippa Sundowns game. Morgan, let me bring you in here. 1-1. Who's happy? Who's sad? How do you see the game, and what do you expect from both teams given the performance they put up on Saturday?
Look, to say the least, I think Chippa has done a phenomenal job. Sundowns, obviously, we know they come back from the World Cup, haven't rested. So I think for Sundowns, they should actually be grateful with the point, The no rest for them was actually a big factor because you could see that it's affecting them somewhere, somehow. And I think for me, a player like Verlander, he actually worked his socks off. And Mandela knows Sundowns like the back of his palm, and obviously the cheat codes that he must have gotten from Rulani and his time spent there, knowing very well that how they dominate teams. And I think he's one of the coaches that I could say has his hand up for Coach of the Week.
Nadim, tactically, I mean, a masterclass from Chippa.
I wouldn't say so. I think it looks like a masterclass because they got 1-1. But if you look at the team that created more chances, I mean, the fact that the Chippa on goal scored that they scored, it was an on goal. So you'll say maybe, yes, they played well, they defended well, they fought very hard. I mean,
Nadim, that wasn't given as an own goal.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it was an on goal because it dissected to someone. I watched the game.
Yeah, so a deflection is not automatically an own goal, though.
Okay, but it was a deflection anyway. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be. If it was a shot on target, then PSL can give it to the guy who made the shot.
No, it was given. Let's give him. In Fetani, it's credited with that goal.
Okay, but still, you expected Sundowns to Chippa fought. I mean, credit to SU. Maybe it's the same thing that Kola said last week, that they didn't have a preseason. Sundowns only 2 weeks from the US. Then they started training 2 weeks before the season started.
Yeah.
Maybe they're yet to gel. That's why they got frustrated with it. But with Sundowns, you don't see a team that you can say against Chippa, they really struggled. They didn't struggle. But they didn't have the energy in the last 10 minutes to kill off Chippa. And Chippa survived it because they were at home. They fought very hard. I think credit to the new coach. And also to the organizational from the goalkeeper, Nwabali, experienced Nigerian goalkeeper. I think it came through during the game.
So, Mogi, I mean, I don't know how you feel about that. Would you say it was more Sundowns not really being on song than it was a good Chippa performance?
No, good Chippa performance. I think if you look at the result at the end of the day, you're going to see that it's 1-1, whether or not they dominated. But also you can see what Mandela wants to do. He wants to take all his experience that he's gotten from even his stint at Wydad, and bring it to the table for Chippa. And they're buying in, and I just hope they build from the result that they've got.
Okay, I mean, again, I think that one is up for debate. But then we move on now to some of the other games played. They played immediately after the Sundowns game. They haven't really had a proper off-season. And so there's too many things hanging in the air in terms of players coming and going. I mean, 3 of their superstars, you can say, in Ribeiro, Shalulile, and Mudau. Their futures at the club, very uncertain. Would that have played a role in maybe a below par performance?
No, key players that are out, but Sundowns pride themselves in when they have key players playing. They've got even better ones on the bench. So I think it's just a preparation. They needed to switch off the engines completely, get enough rest. I don't think the rest that they got was adequate for them to hit the ground running on the first game. So as Nadim says, still time for them to gel or.
The problem, Nadim, every press conference the coach goes into, he's not answering questions about the football. A lot of times he's answering things that is not related to the game.
Rightfully so, because Sundowns are not coming up honestly and telling us what's happening with Khuliso Mtau, their number 1 right back, Bafana Bafana International. They're not telling us if the football of the season Ribeiro is leaving or going. So they're not telling us about Chulile, why, because we see in his social media, he wanted to leave. He wanted to go to North Africa. We know that for a fact. So they're not telling us what's happening. They're trying to force these players to come back to Sundowns. Even with Khuliso Mtau, we're hearing stories, no, we don't want you to leave. I think that's one of the bad things Sundowns are doing in South Africa, where if a player wants to leave, they will deny you opportunity. You have to be rebellious and force your way out to leave. You need to fight. I remember with the story of Katlego Mpela, it was the same thing. There were offers when he was playing for Sundowns. They refused him. So I think that bad habit, they are still there. They are still stuck on that.
It's continuing.
Yeah, they reject offers. Because remember, it's a team that we know that they are paying players well. There were stories that were told players are getting 500,000. But it's not what you are reading in the newspapers when they are reports that Tau is not even getting near 130,000. That's what we're hearing. That is not. So he's not happy with his salary, which is like he feels that he deserves better. He wants to leave. So Sundowns, again, maybe they need to be fair to the players because, yes, the team has won the 8th league in the row. They've won the Champions League. it mustn't be more about the team. They must also care about the players' welfare. If you feel like you've saved your time at Sundowns, want to live somewhere, there's an opportunity for you and your family. Because immediately your contract is terminated or you're out, they will never care about you. But when you were there, they can easily decline an offer that can be a life-changing in your life. Change your life. Yeah, of which is very selfish from Sundowns, is wrong. I think we mustn't encourage it because they want to look like they can do as they please with a player. You understand? So it's unfair because South Africa is not Afghanistan where you can just hold someone hostage as you win. Because it looks like now they are holding people hostage. Willingly that they can just decide, no, want to leave, we're not going to release you. There's nothing you can do. You're under contract. So I think that is wrong. I think it needs to be discouraged. We are saying the PSL is the best league in Africa. All over the world, the best teams in the world, they treat players well. If you want to leave, they say the doors will always be open.
Sure.
Yeah. And we don't see the doors open. I mean, we've seen with Real Madrid, Ronaldo wanted to go to Juventus. The team accepted that, okay, you want to go, we can't force you to stay. Yeah. Why Sundowns need to be allowed to force players to play at Sundowns if they don't want to? Because I feel it's unfair.
So they need to settle all these things off the field before we can really expect a settled team on the field, Morgan.
Yeah, definitely. They need to settle that because they key players in the Mamelodi Sundowns institution. And if players want to leave and the offer's right for the player and for the team, I think there's no better way than to release the player or give them what the other teams are offering them or close to.
My question, though, is will there ever be a right offer for Sundowns? Because whatever money you throw at Sundowns, do Sundowns need it? Because ultimately, they want to hold on to their best players. And so even if someone comes with a good offer, Sundowns are not obliged to take it. Not like other clubs where someone comes and puts money down. Generally, most clubs would take it, but that's not the case at Sundowns.
That's why they need to have the human element where they care about the player. That the player's ambition is to... Because it's like Mtau wanted more money. They don't want to give it to him, but they want him to stay. And they've done that to many players, where they say Sundowns players are the most, they are the highest paid in Africa. But it's not what we hear from players who left Sundowns, because some of them we know very well. So we feel that even if Sundowns don't need the money, but they need to care about the player, that the player is not like the player gets the money from Sundowns that he wants, that he can get in Europe. We remember the story of Toli. He has to force his move when he went to Molemela. So it's historically happening. Once you join Sundowns, it's almost going to be difficult for you to go to Europe, which is really unfair.
Okay, I guess from Sundowns' perspective, a lot happening off the field that possibly they need to rectify, and the season will really get underway once they've had their share in the transfer market. Let's move on to Orlando Pirates. Played just after the Sundowns game. After their performance against Polokwane City, a lot of people were excited, especially about the new players coming in. 5 changes or 5 new players in the starting lineup. That's come under some heavy criticism, Morgan.
Yeah, I think as a coach, as a new coach, you come in, obviously you want to try your new players, and it didn't really work for him. And my thoughts are he should have just stuck with the trial and testing and then introduced them slowly but surely. But unfortunately, he did what he did, and they succumbed to Sekhukune's masterclass, where they just played well, and they forced, and they got the opportunity, they got their goal.
And again, I mean, we're speaking about Sekhukhune team. A lot of people say also they did very well in this transfer market. There's a lot of experience in that Sekhukhune team, and you could see it come out on the field.
You did. I mean, because I was talking to someone else during the day that I watched the game, even if they refereed 20 minutes. Pirates never look like they were going to score. Sure. I didn't get the feeling that Pirates can even score an equalizing goal, let alone winning the game. Yeah, Sekhukhune, your former team, scored like just after the second half. Yeah, Pirates had plenty of time if they had something to offer. They couldn't. They couldn't do anything. It's not like Sekhukhune scored a penalty or free kick in the last 5 minutes where Pirates tried to bounce back. Yeah. They couldn't. They tried everything. Yeah. But again, I'm not surprised. Where have you seen a team signing 14 players, then immediately a team that was runners-up, a team that was in the Champions League semi-final, then you bring 14 players. And most of the players you bring are not even better than, like almost all the players you bring are not even better than what you have. Like if we're honest. So, and now, before the team that was there, all of them are like very fit. The only one who's injured is like Makaula. You drop players like Mbata because you want to. You drop players like Mabasa because you just decided you want to. You drop players like so many players that were starters. And Mahopa, evidence Mahopa. I mean, who I believe is the best striker at Orlando Pirates. And then it's like there's confusion there at Pirates. It's a very clear confusion. It's frustration. I feel sorry for the fans because I saw like more than 20,000 fans at Orlando Stadium.
It was packed. And it's great to see.
And last week it was sold out.
Yeah.
But what's happening from this guy, the coach, is not right because it is very clear that he might be eager. I don't have the facts. He might be eager to abolish the records of Ribeiro or that team that he built. He want to immediately build his own team, of which some of the players are new to Pirates. They need to adapt. You can't just throw them at the deep end. So from me, that's what I saw from Orlando Pirates, that you can't just throw 5 new players in the starting lineup. It's a recipe for disaster.
Is he reinventing the wheel, Morgan? I mean, like there was, like you said, there was a set team and it's almost like you now just reinventing the wheel to an extent.
Yeah, you could say that, Mark, because if you look at it, the best teams in the world, if they buy new players, it's always 1 or 2 that will play, but not 5, because that's you changing the whole team cohesion. The team that did so well in the past 4 years, now you're coming and obviously a new broom sweeps clean, but unfortunately there's a bit of dust left there, and I think it just needs to reevaluate how he went about his changes. And as Nadim says, Makaula is the only one that's injured, and if you look at players like Sister Bettina, he's not loved by the fans, but he's a very influential player, and he gets the goals when it's needed, and he makes the runs that other players don't want to make, and he makes others look good. So I think reinventing the wheel, he should have just stuck with the trial and tested.
Morgan, I have to ask you this question because my mind, I didn't quite understand it. Yesterday, at some point, CBC was playing right centre-back, and Bokazi was playing left centre-back. And then like for the last 30 minutes or so, they swapped, where Bokazi was now playing right and CBC was playing left. I personally couldn't make sense of it. In your mind, as a centre-back, as a defender, what do you think was the idea there?
I don't think it's the coach's idea, but I think it was just a change that happened in the game. Sometimes you find yourself on the left and you're right-footed, so you need to adapt. But unfortunately, with left-footers, they are strictly left, and they're not really not willing, but they're not as good as a player that's right-footed that uses his left. So I think it was just one of those situations where they found themselves there, and obviously you can't really in the game, and they probably were trailing when that happened, and making that change and seeing that the players that they're playing up against are lethal players. One slip, one sniff, and the ball could be in the back of the net.
Yeah, it was a strange one. But moving forward now, Nadim, you've seen this performance. What does this mean for Pirates?
I think they will continue struggling if they continue trying to sideline the guys who took them to the semi-final of the Champions League. Because Pirates lost to the team that eventually became winners. So if they're going to disrespect those players and put them in the stands or in the bench, Pirates will continue struggling. By the time they wake up, maybe Sundowns will be like 18, 19, 21 points ahead of them, because let us be honest, the Pirates are not going to win the league the way they play. From what you saw yesterday, you didn't see a team against Sekhukhune that is challenging Sundowns that can win the league, because remember, they were playing at home. So if they're going to, because we did say they need a goalkeeper. One will say that a proper goalkeeper would have saved it. I always say Chaine needs a competition at Orlando Pirates. This thing of him being an undisputed starter, I don't think Pirates will ever win the league with Chaine as the number 1 goalkeeper.
He needs competition.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yes,
so he maybe still can be number 1, but he just needs someone to push him more, because you feel like there's no one really pushing him.
I don't think with him as a number 1 goalkeeper, Pirates will ever win the league. I think that he makes critical mistakes. He just makes one mistake that will make you realize that no, he's not in the same level of Ronan Williams. From me, that's what I saw. If Pirates are going to continue disrespecting guys like Mahopa, Mabasa, putting them in the bench or in the stands, those players are supposed to be playing. Even Dino van Rooyen, was he injured? So you feel like the right back that he started from Baroka maybe he needs to be introduced gradually to the team, not just throw him in the deep end, because some of the players, you'll throw them in the deep. The fans will end up hating them, then they lost confidence. I mean, we saw that with Zugwamanje. When he was at Pirates, the fans ended up getting frustrated. He wanted out of Pirates because of the pressure from the fans. Those fans are really, really robust. So I can't say I see improvement from Pirates. I can't say they are better than last season. For me, from the team that played yesterday, I see a weaker team than last season. That's why people were criticizing me. They were saying Pirates sign well, they've got the best players. Where are the best players they've signed? Because I couldn't see them. Sipombule,
So I was
your favorite guy that you praise him so much.
And Ndule
He can't even play 70 minutes properly. Like, you can see that maybe, I don't know what was happening in Spain. Did he train well to be given as a starter to lift the team? Then you feel like guys that were playing last season, actually, anyways, they need to be given a chance. They need to come back immediately.
The Sipombule one, I think it's just muscle memory. You know, he hasn't been playing at that level for quite some time. You know, and he had a good game a week ago, but muscle memory, obviously, those situations that he finds himself in, he needs to It's like playing a CD. You have to play it, pause, and start again. Play, pause. If you like the song, but he still needs to get in, and he'll get to his best. It's just also too many changes also will affect how, as I said earlier on, the team cohesion, the camaraderie in the team. And you know, when there's grumpy senior players, it affects you.
I think they're rushing them, these new players. Even Sipombula, you feel like he's a quality player, but they are rushing him to start to show. It might end up frustrating him because he's never been in that kind of playing a big team. Sundowns was not a starter, we know that. He was never given that kind of responsibility. Pirates, and it's unlike Pirates to sign players, then throw them in the deep end. Historically, Pirates always introduce players gradually. It's the first time I see an Orlando Pirates team where you've got new players right back, throwing them just like that. It's always become difficult for new players to even break. I remember guys like Majoro, so many players, Fisomi, and few players like Dan Clayton, them where they started and they were thrown in the deep end, they did well.
Immediately.
Yeah, but it's always been difficult for Pirates to come in and then you are in the A start. What's happening there? I mean, maybe I lie when I say this Ouaddou is a good coach. Maybe he's not a good coach because this is a sign of a bad coach.
You backed him, though. You backed him.
I did. I did. But so far, what I've seen, I feel like
again, it was two contrasting performances. Last week, I mean, against Polokwane, they were good.
They were playing Polokwane. There are many factors there. One, the Puti is a favorite. He loves Pirates.
Yeah, but again,
coach.
Are we going to judge him?
No, it's difficult to judge Pirates when they play. Pirates can play Baroka 10 times, and they can even win those 10 times. So it's difficult to judge Polokwane City. It's difficult to judge Pirates against Polokwane City. It's very difficult.
Okay, so we leave Pirates there.
Because even when Kolam Lambo and them, they were playing for Pirates, they needed to beat Cape Town City to win the league. Then they drew 2-2. They knew that if they go to Orlando, they will hammer Polokwane. Which they did. So it's always difficult to say Pirates against Polokwane because,
Okay.
That's why it was easy. Maybe it was Logapolis to join Pirates. You know, remember the story about Chiefs and sending an offer via email and all those kind of things.
Okay. So let's leave Pirates there for now because they still have a lot to show. And the coach, we'll see, he's got a midweek game to rectify things. We'll see what happens. There were other results on the day. We know the Polokwane derby was goalless. Maybe not too much to get into there, but there were two other winners on the day. AmaZulu, Arthur Zwane, we saw the performance in the MTN 8, doing the business against the newcomers, no less. But clean sheet, got the goal they needed, 1-0, 3 points in the bank.
Mark, it's always difficult to play newcomers. You don't know what to expect. You need to go in there with your plan. As the coach, the players need to understand your plan and play it out on the field. And I think it was good for Arthur to get off the way they got off and with a win. Because if you look a week ago, they were beaten by Stellenbosch. And they played pretty well. I think it was just unfortunate for them to concede in extra time, actually.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, you could see an AmaZulu team that's on the up and up. But, you know, it's early days. And you know the saying, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So there's hope for Pirates.
AmaZulu, you impressed opening the season, 2 games. They've, again, they put on a good performance against Stellies, as Morgan alluded to. but also winning your opening game in the season is very important.
Yeah, if you look at the game they played against Stellis, you can say AmaZulu are impressed. Even though they played Opit that are coming from the NFD, we know that there's a bit of a gap between the NFD and PSL. And they've not ran for...
doesn't say that, eh?
No, but they played one of the team that, I mean, Captain City were confused even in the playoffs.
They were a PSL team, though.
Yes, but the PSL team that was like struggling even in the league. All we're saying
is top of the NFD and bottom of the PSL.
I mean, for you to play like, to even be relegated, playoffs, it means they are ready to. We are now in NFD material. For you to reach that level. So for me, what I saw with AmaZulu, I mean, I spoke to some people at AmaZulu. They were telling me, I was interested to know what it's selling into at Opit College. They say he was still not match fit, was having those kind of moments, but you can tell that even the kind of player, they say he's gonna struggle at Opit simply because the kind of supply he was getting at Pirates is not used to play he's used to play with kind of players who are more senior than him. Yes, he can shine, but he can't get those kind of assistance and passes and quality.
So the quality around him is not quite different. The same.
So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a long season for him, a hard and painful season.
For him or Orbit?
Even for Opit, because they've not reinforced well. They think they can continue with the NFD squad and dominate the PSL. They're not going to do that. So unless they sign players, they still need to get experienced players. That's the right thing that I liked about Sekhukhune. Immediately they were promoted. You saw them fetching Bolindam Tambo, experienced players, even Katoso, those kind of players.
Yeah.
The attitude was right. If you want to stay in the PSL and compete properly, you need to go for experienced players. If you think with those players that you won the NFT via playoffs, you'll be good enough, we are mistaken. Because remember, they were not even the best team in the NFT. So they won via the playoffs. So they need experienced players who can make them compete. So far, for me, I think it's going to be a long and painful season for them.
And AmaZulu?
AmaZulu, you know what? He took over from Pablo Franco. He did well. That's why the team is in the top 8. Teams like Kaizer Chiefs were not in the top 8 for a reason. So credit to, but I don't like the fact that they released so many players. Some of my friends were playing for AmaZulu, like Ramasho and Patele were released. Okay. And I don't like that they release some of the experienced players, not only Ramash. So that's why I'm reluctant to say AmaZulu will be firing.
But now you're making it personal. Now you're not telling us from a footballing perspective.
I feel you need those kind of experience, blend of experience and youngsters. Remember, they were saying now they were cutting their age to average 24. Yeah. Is this going to work in the PSL? We don't know.
Well, they won their opening game, so clearly, and they put up a good performance last week. They won against
a team that we are really candidate for relegation.
And based on their performance against Stellis?
They lost. That's the thing. They lost against Stellis. At the end of the day, they lost. Be it Stellis that is not... I mean, Stellis to say that maybe the Stellis is not good. They even lost to Kaizer Chiefs today. So you can't say a team that lost to Kaizer Chiefs 2-0. Chiefs have not beaten anyone 2-0 from...
Nadim, they got the red card in the 13th minute, so you come now.
No, they did. They did. But for me, AmaZulu, I'm
clutching at straws.
AmaZulu,
now.
I'm hoping for the best for them because you know guys like Sandile Mtetwa, Fleas, they've got players that they want. They feel like they are downgrading their age. They want younger players. But I can't say they will be better than last season. I don't know.
We don't know. Yeah. It remains to be seen. But Morgan, 3 points. You know how vital it is on opening day.
Yeah, definitely, it's very vital. I think also they've got their own ambitions, and I think. The chairman, Mr. Sandile Zungu, has been saying that he wants his team to be a top 4 team, whether it be just a brand or whether it be the team. They're a top team in the KZN region where highly respected, and when they play, there's a lot of fans that come out. So their ambitions are big. Good 3 points for them, and I'm excited for Arthur. I mean, him leaving Chiefs and him doing well at AmaZulu, it just goes to show that he wasn't merely just a Chiefs coach. He's a very good coach that can coach very good players.
So when we go to Marumo Gallants now, I mean, another winner on the day on Saturday. They played from the 36th minute. Manaka got a red card. They were leading 1-0 at the time. They conceded an equalizer, but then managed to see out the result. So for a Gallants team that we weren't sure about because there's a new young French coach, but clearly there's something to this team.
Yeah, the guy is 28 years. I mean, it's impressive to go to Richards Bay and you got a red card, you still win the match. With Gallants, last season they finished higher, remember? By the end of the season, they finished very strong under the new Orlando Pirates coach. So how they started, you expected that after watching Richards Bay against Sundowns. I think also they've got a lot of youngsters. I don't know if they're still going to reinforce. They need to do that.
It's continuation,
But they released some of the players to Chippa United. You feel like, again, they've not like really reinforced the team from last season. So they are going to struggle. They are one of those teams that will just struggle.
I mean, when we look at even the MTN8 performance, Morgan, 4-0 against Sundowns, and it's more the way they lost that game.
And the same Sundowns that drew Chippa United.
It's the way they lost that game, and then now coming against Marumo Gallants, where they're playing with 10 men for about an hour, just under an hour, and you still manage to lose the game at home. It spells trouble. I mean, you're worried if you're Richards Bay right now.
Yeah, you would be worried. I think with the cash injection that went into the team, I think they're also going to be wanting to be dominant in their region, because if you're going to inject so much cash into Richards Bay, that means you're going to sign well, And they also just need to look at what's at stake. I think one of their strikers went to Pirates and replacing him. Also, what's his name?
Mtundwana.
Yes, Mtundwana. He's also a player that was very influential.
Yeah.
He's also left them. So it's a bit of a sticky situation. And Jomo Biela, he makes it clear that I'm sure they probably were sitting in meetings saying, guys, we need to do better. There's so much money here that's been put in, and I expect the team to do so much better. And they probably will sign.
You speak about the two players they lost, and then they brought in Gabadino Mahango. Do you think is the solution?
I don't think him on his own. He needs to be supplied. He's a very robust player that, if you look at his history, he's a good player, good runner, forceful. But do you need that at Richards Bay now? No, you need someone that's going to come in and gel with the team, because it looks like he's also one of the rebellers,
Yeah.
When things don't go his way, he sulks, he moans.
And that's why we speak about the character of the man. Is he the right fit?
It's important for teams to look at characters before them being good players, because if you're a good human being and you put in a good shift, I mean, surely somehow along the line, your footballing will come out because the team is doing well. If you're not a good human being, it's going to be a problem.
Okay, and now, again, just to our viewers out there, I didn't say it at the top of the show. As always, remember, we are Switch On Network on all platforms. So make sure you like, you comment, subscribe. I did say at the top that we are at the Farmhouse Restaurant out at the Ridgevlei Zoo Farm. So do excuse us if you do hear some music in the background. Obviously, people are enjoying the festivities of the football and enjoying some music at the same time as well. But we continue our discussion. We're going to move on to Sunday's fixtures in a minute. But before we do that, we have to talk. Can we consider them newbies? I don't know if we can. We said earlier, it's still very much, seems like a SuperSport setup. But Siwelele FC are top of the log when we look at what went down this weekend. And they played out in front of a packed house in Bloemfontein. It's what you want to see in our football, Nadim.
No, definitely it's beautiful. The support. Like you can see, it's proper support.
Yeah.
They can feel it.
They're hungry
They're
for football.
behind their teams. I mean, you can't say it's a new team. It's not a new team. It's SuperSport United. They're just changing them.
Yeah.
Because even if you look at the guys who are running it, Stanley Matthews, the same from SuperSport. Guys who've been there at SuperSport for a long time. Andrea Rens, Grant Johnson. So it's the whole structure. They just change the location.
And the coach and the head coach.
CMA, left Sekhukhune when he was in the top 4.
Yeah.
Remember when I said on Metro FM that when he left Sekhukhune, it was the off the field incidents.
Sure.
He called everyone. He called even people from Metro FM who were in the yard, trying to say, no, I'm angry with Nadim. Why did he say I left Sekhukhune for off the field? He did leave Sekhukhune on the field. He's a good coach, CMA. If you can look, he's a very good coach.
If we judge him by his results
yes,
on the field, he's a good coach.
Yeah, he's a good coach. So I don't know why he was angry when I said he left Sekhukhune due to off the field problems. And he was supposed to actually send me a card or something that I didn't say why he left, because I should have said.
No, but Nadim, that's personal information.
No, I'm saying, Because he got angry. He called everyone. I mean, he was like, "Hey,
now you are rehashing things that.
No, I'm just saying he should have appreciated. I said it's off the field. I didn't say why.
So he must thank you for not putting his business in the street.
Then a team of 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have said it. I would have said it.
But
I would have just said I left it because it did this and this and that.
Oh, you've grown since then.
Nah, of course, but don't grow, we grow old. But I feel Siwelele, they played well. I was so impressed with so many things. You can see, Vincent Pule, when last did you see him like that? You can see the guys enjoying his football.
Sure.
Sivuyo Makiti, so impressive, young players. That's why you see players who are hungry, passionate, repaying the fans who paid their money to go there.
Yeah.
Something that we didn't see at Orlando Stadium. Something that we didn't see. Okay, maybe we saw it from other teams that they play today, but I feel
this other team's thing.
I feel like Chippa United showed that where they are trying to repay their fans in Gqeberha.
Sure.
When against Sundowns, that they are gonna fight for them. What's happening in Bloemfontein? What's Gaten Mackenzie and his son are doing? It's so beautiful.
So you're happy? You were happy with the performance, Morgan? You look at
no, I was happy with the performance, but I feel. Let us not be deceived because they were playing one of the worst teams in the league, Golden Arrows. So we can't read much and say now they're on top of the law. This is the last time in the next 2-3 games. They will be out of the. They will still gonna go and visit. For me, I still think they need to reinforce the squad.
Oh, Arrows?
No,
Siwelele.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arrows,
that's a big statement.
With Arrows, they're always
one
fighting.
One of the worst teams in the league, Golden Arrows.
No, they are. They're always fighting relegation. They're always fighting. When last did you see Arrows in the top 8? They're always fighting. Immediately they start. It doesn't matter what Mokaba or whoever the coach is there. They are fighting to stay in the PSL. That's it. I
remember 2 seasons when Mabuti, when they were co-coaches, himself and Vivi, going into December, they were like second on
then they went 11 consecutive losses.
Yeah.
11 consecutive, like 1, 2. They were losing every game, not drawing. Even Chiefs, there was a time where Chiefs have lost like 3 matches in a row. When they went to Arrows, they beat Arrows. So, Arrows, they're a team that are playing to survive. The ambition for them is just to stay up.
So, that's
maybe
a big statement.
Maybe the nickname should be stay up.
Let me get the men to come in there. One of the worst teams in the league?
I disagree. With that because if you look at the accolades that they have, they've got the MTN8. You can't be the worst team.
When was that?
No, it doesn't matter.
No, how long was that? Over 15 years ago.
It's fine.
No,
it's
but
still
in the last 5 years.
Under who was the coach back then?
It was Magogo.
And who's the coach now?
Magogo.
So,
it doesn't have the ambition was different. Now it's different.
Now the ambition is different. How?
Yeah, it's different.
He's got a job. He's obviously got a mandate.
No. Remember, Arrows, they were having players like Tanduiso Kubo who were playing for Bafana. Who is the player for Arrows who plays for Bafana now? Name one. They were having proper players. Sia Sangweni was even good enough. He went on to Pirates to become should have been the football of the season. He was robbed when they gave it to Siyabonga Sangweni. Siyabonga Nomvet. So they had players who are quality players. They went on to dominate. Some of them, they even went on to start at the World Cup. What player now you feel they are robbing him at Arrows to pin the Bafana team?
Nadim, let him answer you, please.
Nadim.
And Nadim,
and you must remember, they're also a selling team, and they groom players to become.
Before they were not that much of a selling. They were very strong. They were tight. Matoma Dala was still like, after his brother left, so she was trying to show that she can.
Are you talking about the late Rocky?
Yes.
Yeah.
Matoma was showing people that she can run a team so well, and she did it very well. That's why she ended up winning a trophy. Unfortunately, it's the only trophy that they've won.
Yeah, but I still think you can't say the worst team.
No, they are one of the teams that are fighting. When last did they were in the top 8? They are a team that are fighting to be in the PSL. That's it. They don't even make the top 8.
But teams
when
are getting
did you
better.
See Arrows in the top 8? They won because they won the top 8 because they were in the top 8. Now, when last did you see Arrows in the top 8?
This could be a season for them.
Is it?
This could be a season for them to re-look at things.
From what I'm saying,
wait, Nadim. Let me just Morgan. Let's go to this specific match. Siwelele versus Golden Arrows. 3-1 result against them. Obviously, away from home, sold out stadium. It makes a massive difference. From what you see, is this team that is coached by an experienced Coach Mangoba, what are they going to give us this season?
It's difficult to say what they're going to give us this season, but they'll definitely lift their hands up to, obviously, as Nadim's saying, getting into the top 8. It's going to be one of their ambitions to challenge for something this time around, because I also don't see that they haven't added senior players. because Arrows is a team where you really need senior players. If you look at the names that it was Dihashwes, and I don't see the players that they have now being in that senior role, and how they replaced them. They didn't replace them with like for like or like for better. Now they have players that they're grooming, and to me, it's as if they are selling club. They're just waiting for the right deal, for the right offers for their players to move on.
So
he's agreeing with me.
overall, when you look at this Siwelele performance, do you agree with Nadim? Possibly then they still need to reinforce? Or, I mean, a 3-1 result, will they now have a false sense of security?
I think they do need to reinforce. If you look at, they were coming up against a team that's a SuperSport. They just took over from SuperSport, brought back Buhle Mkhwanazi, which he was at SuperSport. So they also can't say
And
that.
he left SuperSport because he said Jesus didn't want him to do COVID tests, right?
No, I'm not sure.
He told us at Metro FM that he left SuperSport because they wanted him to do the vaccine, but Jesus came to him at night that he mustn't do. No, I'm serious.
So he did say that on record.
Yeah, on record.
Okay.
That's why he even said he disclosed his thoroughly. I mean, I don't know what he was trying to say. That the one that was getting at vets, he felt like he was in love in football, but it was good to see him back.
No, it's good if he has a calling like that. I mean, it then repays him. He comes back and he does a phenomenal job.
And became a captain.
And he's captain on day one. Yeah.
That means if he did take the vaccine, he wouldn't be the captain. He wouldn't be, the talk of the town right now.
Yeah,
but
I did say that.
I'm happy to
God
see him.
told him the vaccine is not from him.
And everybody's entitled to that. Obviously, we know there were strict policies at SuperSport, being a multi-choice company. I think it was a multi-choice policy more than anything. And he stood his ground. He stood firm in what he believed. And so you have to respect the man for that. But he never gave up. That wasn't the end of the road for him. I mean, it's great to see. It's a great story for Buhle Mkhwanazi coming back to his former club. Well, not really his former club, but coming back as captain, that's a big thing, Nadim.
At the age of 35.
At the age of 35.
He has not played for like 4 seasons in the PSL. You come in, you get given the armband, you play like that, you inspire your team to beat Arrows. It's so beautiful. I mean, it just shows. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't even drink or smoke. He lives a very good lifestyle at that age to still be able to really compete because he played very well also.
Yeah.
We can't say
it was
it was just I mean, for me, it looks like madness when he's a captain. Not only starting a guy.
Nadim.
The surprise was he has been given a contract. The guy who has not played. Okay, what's happening at Siwelele?
Yeah.
Now he's a captain. He's in the lineup.
Starting, and
he played that much.
But then he vindicated the selection.
No,
I mean,
he did. Coach saw something and was proven that day.
No, it's always good to have a coach that believes in you, and when he gives you an opportunity to play football again. And I'm sure he missed the game, and he showed how much he missed the game coming into a team that he led well. Obviously, there are other leaders in the team like Laila K that could also add value, and they saw the ambitions that they want. And a job is a job at the end of the day. You must always put your best foot forward, and he can see that. I also don't like saying this, but at 35, who would have thought that teams will look at him? Because by the time you get to 32, I mean, South African football, it's curtains.
They write you off.
They write you off. And a lot of players have been saying, I'm good enough, I'm fit enough, I look after myself well, but still teams don't give you that opportunity. So kudos to Siwelele and kudos to him. It's not an easy position he finds himself in.
I actually love that because I feel like he's opening doors for players who are out of contract.
Definitely.
They will see that a guy who has been out of football for like 3 full seasons in the PSL can come in and perform like that. I love it. It's actually good.
You must also say, sorry Mark, you must also say that there was vigorous talks in the boardroom. It wasn't an easy decision for them to take. He obviously came in on a trial. I can guarantee you he came in on a trial. He came in, he gave the performance.
He had to show himself.
He gave a good preseason and he showed. And the league was starting and they were like, guys, there's no one else that we have in that position that will, obviously not knowing what's going on with Thulani Khatshwayo, they needed someone to replace and he fit the...
Guys, let's not forget he is a Bafana international, a former international. So there's pedigree there. It's not like they just took someone random. He's someone who's been there, done that. He's done great things in his career already. There's great experience there.
It will be a beautiful story if he can end up like performing that well and going to the AFCON. It will be a beautiful story because the players is competing with, they're not that much good in the national team, the defenders. You feel it's a very good chance.
The defenders that went to the semi-final of the last AFCON, they're not that good.
No, they're not. They're not.
How come did they get like Nadim?
No, I'm just saying.
No, guys, I can see this one is going to take us way left.
There is a chance for him because the guys have not really improved from that time.
Yeah.
Do you think Hugo Broos is going to look at that?
I'm very worried about.
I don't know if he will look, because remember, he didn't want Chambers one also at that age, but he brought him in, he became the Bafana best player in the last AFCON at that age. So I don't know if he can be given a chance. I'm saying if he can really become the best defender in the league, the national team, I know Bafana is not selected on merit, but if the coach is the best defender, wins coach of the month, I mean, player of the month and all those kind of things.
But do you think that gives him a right to play in the national team?
If it's good enough, why not? Are you going to put Mekana because he plays for Sundowns?
Already Nadim is talking about the national team's not selected on merit. So
no, it's not.
Again, what is it selected on?
No, it's not.
I don't know.
No, it's not.
But guys,
it's selected based on loyalty on the coach.
Well, whoever works for the coach, that's who he's going to choose.
Yeah, it's not
selected. We are going to go way left with this one, Nadim.
Even Mbata doesn't.
No, we've still got
Mbata's not playing as Pirates now. He doesn't need to do anything. He's guaranteed in the Bafana. The next Bafana call up, you'll see talent in Mbata.
Because what did he do for the coach?
Exactly. Did well for the coach previously.
Exactly.
Which is
that's
loyalty.
why he'll be selected.
Not performance at that time. Exactly. Not performance at that time. Mbata must just sit and relax. If the call comes, it's going to be called. Even that boy is Pirates who Selepe. The one who did so well, now we don't know where he is at Pirates.
Okay, let me tell you
Selepe is a youngster. He still needs to fight his way in the dressing room. And
ultimately, Hugo Broos, however he chooses to select his squad,
we must support.
Has he not done the business?
He did.
Has he not produced results? Has he not taken Bafana to a level we haven't seen in
years?
10, 15, 20 years.
A decade.
So at the end of the day, how he chooses his squad, I have no issues.
No, it's done well.
Because he's producing the results. Let's go to Sunday results, guys. We have to talk about Sunday results because there's another new team, but they did the business. And that was against a TS Galaxy side who, given how they fell apart against Sekhukhune, now going down to Durban City, a Gavin Hunt coach, Durban City Morgan, I'd be worried.
I wouldn't be. If you look at Gavin's experience in the league and how he gets to fine-tune his team and make them just walk over the line, because Gavin is not about the pretty football, but he's about the results.
Effective.
Yeah, he's very effective and he's drilled that into the team. They've got a good result and new team, yes. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not going to be easy, but he needs to also try and variate how he approaches games, because for him, it's you work hard, you work your socks off, and that's it. It's either you score or you defend. Finished.
That's how he's won league titles.
Thank you. And I'm testament to that. And if you say Kevin is my favorite coach, yes, he is.
Nadim, 2-0 against TS Galaxy, a Galaxy team that finished in the top 8 last season. Good way for Durban City to announce themselves back in the league.
Not necessarily, because not necessarily. Know why? Because before even the match started, I received a message from someone who was in Molemela saying,
you received a what?
A message.
Okay.
They only have 5 substitutes. They don't have players, those guys.
TS Galaxy.
Yeah, TS Galaxy. They sold most of their key players. So they still need to reinforce. So you can't now be happy that you beaten TS Galaxy and all those kind of things. So
they only had 5 players on the bench?
On the bench.
Okay.
Because they don't have players. Like, they still need to
reinforce. They don't have players registered, or they don't have players.
I don't know what the story, but I know most of the key players, like, they've sold them, Sekhukhune, Orlando Pirates. They've been selling. Instead of reinforcing the team, other owners, club owners, Pirates signed 14 players. Chiefs tried to go to Indonesia and get a striker. Sundowns, Pasadena. Them, they've been selling. Like their best players. Anyone who's good, they will be sold. Like as long as you're there, I mean, they see you are improving. Teams who has received a call about you, you're going to be sold. For me, I will not say beating TS Galaxy it's anything, because there's
nothing to write home about.
There's nothing. They don't really have depth enough. For me, I feel like they still need to reinforce. Sure, last season TS Galaxy started very bad and ended up being in the top 8. I'm not saying TS Galaxy will struggle. I'm sure Tim Sugas is an agent. He knows how to organize players.
And they might lose in Damani as well.
Of course, but I think Tim Sugas, if he wants to stay in the PSL, you'll have to reinforce the squad. Because this one, yes, it's been surviving or being in the top 8, selling and selling for the past 3 seasons and still becoming in the top 8. But now I think it might be a bit too far. So for Gavin Hunt to say he has done well, yes, he has done well. Getting 3 points is important.
So we mustn't be fooled by this performance.
No, you can't be fooled because they were playing a team that is really missing players so much. They've sold most of their key players. You can't really be proud and say beaten TS Galaxy. It looks like up until Tim Sugas reinforced the team, teams will just find it easy to play TS Galaxy.
You agree, Morgan?
I don't agree. If you have 5 players on the bench, it's not the other team's problem because that's your own problem. But the 3 points is 3 points.
So you don't agree that they've sold their best players?
No, they have. They have sold their best players.
So don't agree that they need to reinforce? Their squad is okay for you to compete in the PSL?
It's not okay.
So
but they will get
They don't
players.
need to reinforce. They are fine.
They will get
Nadim,
players.
you were saying it's not Durban City's problem. The fact Durban City got 3 points and they should be happy about that.
Of course that you say you should be happy, but you can't just say Durban City now that they're in the top 3 in the log, they will stay there. For me, I'm just not one game. I mean, don't be surprised if they play another team, Sekhukhune, and then beat them 5-0.
Morgan, what do you know of Gavin Hunt? What do you expect of this Durban City team?
I expect a team that that will play the football that they need to play. And with the players that they have, he doesn't want to reinvent the wheel and make a player that's not comfortable on the ball to play comfortable football. They'll play the way the players that is signed, obviously. And he said obviously, he needs to get players.
We're going to go to the last match of the weekend. How we wrapped up the weekend.
Save
Why
the
we
best
are
for
here
last.
at the farmhouse restaurant. What we came here to watch. That was Stellenbosch up against Kaizer Chiefs. I think, again, I mean, it was great to see a really good crowd.
Stellenbosch also selling Pasadine, selling Torre. They are really not stronger than last season. That's what I've seen. I don't see an improved team. Last season, they finished number 3. But now, there's nothing that tells me that... I remember last season also, Stellis lost a lot of key players, as they did with Jaden Adams.
And they still recovered from it.
And Reiners and Anton van Veek. So even the previous season, they lost players like Mendieta, Makanya.
They're always losing players, yeah.
So, but now, it might eventually get caught up with them. So, you can see the way they played against Chiefs. The red card also didn't help.
Yeah.
Chiefs, I think, used the fact that they have a one-man advantage. It worked for them because they ended up getting a penalty in the end, scoring that free kick and also scoring a penalty, 2 set pieces. You'll feel like Kaizer Chiefs did well with what is in front of them because you can always beat what is in front of them. But I'm not going to write home about it and say, I'm a Kosa wheel and all those kind of things. When I see Chiefs, I see a top 10 team, a team that will be number 9, number 10.
You see nothing, a top 10 team.
Yeah, because
you still don't see a top 8 team.
No, I'm not, because even last season, at their best, Stellis lost both games against Chiefs. Actually, they lost 3 times against Chiefs. In the league, women away, FNB and Cape Town. They also lost in the Nedbank Cup. So I can't say now Chiefs be beaten Stellis.
So Chiefs is Stellis hoodoo team.
Oh, of course. I mean, they've been doing so well, against Stellis.
Morgan, these are your 2 former clubs. Yeah. So you know these 2 teams better than most. I mean, coming into this game, what did you expect? And after what we saw, what are your thoughts about these respective teams?
I expected a very tight game. Knowing very well Steve Barker knows how to motivate his team and Wesley knows how to put the puzzles together because I think they form a very good team, including Van, The system is simple there. They produce the conveyor belt of players. They come in, they go, they leave. It's the same thing. So I think they played against a very good team that knows the system. Unfortunately, Chiefs used the support to their advantage. They use the fact that they are hungry to win their first game, and they haven't been doing as well.
They also use the one-man advantage.
Yeah, but that's part of football.
Yeah, but you need to mention it.
No, but that's part of football. I'm not being biased.
Okay, continue.
It's part of football because if I was on the other side of the fence, I mean, if I win the game and Mark's the one man down, I'm not going to say, yeah, we won because of that.
Yeah.
It's just they used it to their advantage, and Chiefs needed to come out and send a message and say, guys, preseason didn't look really good, but they've toned down from. If you look at the tour that they had in Holland, they toned down. They lost their first game 2-1, or was it 1-0, 4-0, and then that just goes to show that they've learned their lessons and they've slowly finding the combinations that will really, really work well for them. Because if you look at position for position, there's always 2 players in each and every position, and they're looking to compete well with one another, and that will just make a better Kaizer Chiefs team.
But Nadim, when you look, I mean, I think the attitude of the players, I mean, there was a lot of fight. It wasn't an easy game, even when they were up a man. Stellies were still coming, but you have to give some credit to Chiefs for, again, a team that, like you say, you feel is a top 10 team. But we've been missing that fight that, you know,
not
that
really,
pride
Mike.
in the
I don't
badge.
even think you're telling the truth, because Stellies, for me, it looks like they were going to equalize up and just get a penalty. For me, I saw Stellies that they were creating more chances than Chiefs. So I'm not sure, but the projector's that big, so I'm sure you're watching the game properly. But for me, I feel like Stellies, they're a team where I feel they can equalize anytime. So they were 2-0. It was not a true reflection of the game, the way I saw it. That's why I feel I saw a team that is not improved from. There's nothing that I can show that Chiefs improved from last season. There's nothing like 0. Because
There's
even
goals. There's goals.
No, but the goals, remember, it's also set pieces.
It's part of the game.
Yes,
Nadim.
but they played a team that they already beaten last season. It's not like
It's a new season.
Yeah, but it does matter that obviously how far, because even last season I remember when they played Marumo, Gallants and AmaZulu, full house in Bloemfontein, full house in Durban. It looked like Chiefs are back. People were saying Chiefs are back is gonna be, and then it ended up becoming a very terrible season for them in the league. Where in the last 8 matches they didn't even win a single match. I can't say from this match I just saw that Kaizer Chiefs are back. They will be in the top 8. No, nothing. Even in the playing personnel, there's nothing. Even in the new players. There's nothing much that I can feel at Chiefs.
There's nothing to write home about.
Even the preseason. Even in the preseason, okay, maybe Monyane also. Because in the preseason, I mean, we saw against Asante Kotoko that if they are playing against equal on the field, they really struggle to win anything. I mean, in the Toyota Cup, it was embarrassing when Moken was invited by Chiefs, because they picked the province where they played. They picked the referee. They picked the stadium. And they picked the name of the team they were going to play. They still lost. I don't think Chiefs have improved from last season. And they don't, this team, there's nothing that I can say they'll make the top 8.
It's up to them to show it now, Morgan. I mean, they've got this opening win. You spoke about consistency at the top of the show. That's what counts, and that's what's going to matter for Kaizer Chiefs now.
Yeah, definitely. That's the one that they will be working towards. And obviously not having their coach there, I think that was also a driving factor for them to say, let's do it for the coach, because we worked well in preseason.
Do you think the coach is coming back?
Yeah, it should. I mean, it's just gone. Family emergency. He should be back. I mean...
No, because I remember the last coach who said that his wife was sick. He didn't come back.
Yeah, that was the last coach. It's not now.
Carlos Alberto Pereira, I remember he said his wife
Carlos
is sick.
Alberto Pereira.
You remember when Coach Bafana were told that his wife is sick?
Oh, we talked
Then
about...
he ended up bringing his cousin to coach. So I'm thinking...
And don't forget the cousin...
Joel and Natalino Santana.
But you mustn't forget, that's the same guy that gave me an opportunity. So I don't look at those things. I look at people that gave me opportunity, and I respect them for, because they're in the job title to say he's the head coach.
He's the one who put you there.
Exactly.
So we don't know if he comes back, then. But
how big?
But Ben Yusuf, if this Ben Yusuf take over Chiefs, I can say Chiefs will make the top 8, because I don't rate Nabi as a coach. So it could be a good thing if Nabi doesn't come back from wherever he is.
So you feel Ben Yusuf is better suited? If he can just
be supportive to his wife and stay there in Tunisia, and Chiefs try to give Ben Yusuf a chance, because you see, I mean, you can't deny that the Chiefs team that played against Stellenbosch were committed.
You see, now, I just said that, and then you said I was watching another game.
No,
I just said there was more of like they were playing for the badge.
No.
They were playing for the badge.
It was.
So now why are you telling
me I thought you said they were created more chances than Stellies. No, but if you say that, then I agree. I was wrong. So they did show that fighting spirit. And we saw that also when the coach was suspended, when Ben Yusuf was taking charge. Because this guy is one of the most confused coaches in the history of the PSL. He's the only coach ever since I've covered football where every lineup is changing. So I've never seen that in the history of Kaizer Chiefs. So for me, I don't believe that he should be coaching Kaizer Chiefs. I think it could be a blessing in disguise that the new coach starting the season, maybe Kaizer Chiefs is finally gotten what he really wanted now out of the team. If he can just allow him, the guy who's there, just to continue and see. This one, if the results are struggling, then they can call back Nabi.
Okay, does Nabi return?
Yeah, he has to return. I think he's got a contract with the team and he needs to honor his contract.
Contract aside, Moge, what's best for Kaizer Chiefs right now?
He needs to return.
He needs to return.
He needs to return to
The
to what
coach
he's
must
built.
come back.
Yeah, he's built something and we can slowly see what he's trying to do. And the guys are fighting and they fought a good fight against a good Stellenbosch institution. I'm not talking about the team, the institution on its own. So he needs to come back.
Well, okay, that's where we're going to leave it for now. We are going to get into just the guys' favorites in a short while. But do stay tuned.